Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to what I believe is episode 2 of the University Rocket League NSE Rocket League podcast. I am joined today by Vechs and Lozza. Say hello, Lozza, not Vechs, we don't want to hear you. Lozza, hello.
Yeah, nobody cares about Vechs. Hello, Steve, how are you doing today?
How are we doing today? And Vechs, how are you doing? You doing bad?
I'm alright actually, I'm not doing too bad.
Okay, we just had week 1 of NSC, if I do believe, and of course we have Lozza here today. And as we all know, Lozza didn't do that great. Do you want to talk about it, Lozza, or is it a little bit sensitive still?
Hey, I mean, it's definitely still sensitive, but we can talk about it. I can run through it. So, I mean, yeah, we went 1-2 in the first week. The first team, Staffordshire Bim Bam, did. So it's not the most ideal situation. We dropped our last game to Hull, which isn't the most ideal situation, but I mean, I don't know, it's like the start of season things. We're not really expecting to kind of get out the gate flying. We've got quite a lot of other members which we can kind of rotate. We still don't know what the best team is yet, so I'm throwing out all of these excuses.
Yeah, I was going to say, this does sound like a nice bit of excuses. Just doesn't sound like the most ideal situation. Was definitely the catchphrase for there. I mean, to make nationals now, would you need to win all your games this coming Tuesday?
Yeah, I believe so. So it's a pretty tough task, but I think we can do it.
Yeah, you can do it, no problem. Vechs, do you think they can do it?
I think so, but what we can hopefully...
Yeah,
they should do it, I believe in them. But I think hopefully we'll give Lozza another excuses. Obviously, maybe this is just an indicator that the actual competition in the NSC is increasing. So the likes of Hull
That's true.
now are putting up quite a good competition against teams which are obviously proven, like Staffs.
Yeah, we did actually have a couple very close results, and I would say potentially even upsets. So really, we can just sort of move on to what the good teams did, because we've just talked about Staffs and Lozza, and they're 1-2 now. So that's cool. And it's very nice. We brought Lozza here. It was sponsored by the Make-A-Wish Foundation, obviously. So he's going to put input and try and see what it's like to be on a good team, like one of the teams that went unbeaten. I don't know if they lost any games at all that day. It was in round 3 games. Loughborough beat Trent Thunder 3-0. Salford beat Lancashire, which is not something anyone should ever be able to do. They beat them 3-0. Bournemouth Barracudas beat Brighton 3-0. Portsmouth beat Southampton. Saver Menu, is that actually their name? They beat them 3-0. And Warwick beat Rocket Lads. That's Surrey 3-0 as well. Did any of them teams drop any games at any point?
I know for a fact for a fair few of them, but I know Bournemouth swept all of their games, actually. I think they may have been the only team to do so. I think Salford perhaps might have as well.
Right. I mean, did you play any of them at any point? Because I don't know who your other game was against, Lozza.
We played Loughborough Lions, actually. They swept us. I mean, I don't want to kind of throw some more excuses out there, but I mean, they were close games, although we did get swept. I don't think Loughborough look as strong as they have done in the past, but I definitely think that they're still looking strong. Crimson obviously slotting in nicely, but I think they've got a high skill ceiling.
They're still like a premium team, but with the added depth, you're thinking it's an outside shot for them to be playoff and championship contenders.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely like an outside team, which I don't really expect to kind of win it all, but they'll be up there.
Portsmouth, Bournemouth and Warwick also all swept, but I don't think they played any particularly challenging teams, whereas UE were took to Game 5 by the Essex team, which we saw, which were obviously headed by Switch.
UEA winning 2 Game 5s on Tuesday?
Right. UE. That's UE.
Oh, UE. As in University of Essex? Yes, they played the Bath A team because you weren't playing.
Indeed, of course.
Indeed.
I bench myself on
so
pursuit
clearly
of
they made the wrong
plays.
decision, and if you were playing, they would obviously have won.
Well, I don't like to toot my own horn, but obviously.
Yeah, that's a very fair analysis. So, I mean, at least pretty nice when you win that round 3 game 3-0. So definitely kudos to see if Warwick and Bournemouth, Portsmouth and Loughborough, even though we kind of expect Loughborough to, and Salford will sort of stroll into nationals. I mean, do they only need to win 1 game on Tuesday?
They only need to win 1 game, and then the rest is up for seeding.
I see. That's fair. Because of course, if you don't know, we're on to 32 team national. That's That's quite big, isn't it?
Yeah, I definitely think that's something that is like kind of underrated, because it's going to give these teams that like weren't really shooting for a national spot in the previous seasons like something to aim for. So we might even see some of these like kind of lower down teams find motivation, and we might find some hidden talent.
It's pretty exciting as well, especially considering that. I mean, you can say there were complaints about it in previous seasons. I think it was just more disbelief that it seemed kind of cursed across the weeks of. I know I can certainly relate to it. That you would sort of play the same teams just by chance again and again, and you go a whole season being a similar sort of seed to another team and just not seeing them at any point. You just never play them, and you'd say that you'd play the same team 3 times in a season, and it's like, oh, hello again. And that's just sort of way it ended up being. But we can blame Hench for that, and obviously this will get deleted because no one can blame Hench. He is our overlord, mate. Please thank us, Overlord Hench. Please, thank you. But
it will be interesting to see whether, obviously with 32 teams, we know there's obviously a greater increased competition in a uni scene this time, but are there going to be 32 teams that fill up those spots competitively? Obviously with the likes of staffs, with Lozza, who were fringe of nationals last time, they'll comfortably stroll into nationals, perhaps not first week now unless they go 3-0, but they should be making it. So it'll be interesting to see if there's a drop off of quality at the end of a tier.
That's true. How do we know how playoffs will work yet? I really should have looked into this. As in, is it going to just be 6 teams again?
I think it. I haven't heard anything from Sin, but I still think there will be for main bracket and for challenger bracket.
Okay.
And I'm not sure they'll bother with the 16 to 32 bracket.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, they might do the same way, I guess. I guess there's nothing conclusive yet, but that would be very interesting. Of course, we probably won't have a LAN, but we can pretend.
But we might have a different champion this time. It's unlikely we will see Lancaster's reign supreme again.
Until, that being said, last season, only doubters. There were people that did not have Lancaster in their top 10 of predictions. Okay? Yeah, we won league play the previous season, we won league play that season, and we won the entire championship that season. Do not doubt Lancaster. They will win. Maybe they won't win, but they will win
some.
A lot of series. Maybe not enough, but a lot. And that's the way it's going to be. You got to accept the Lankers and their ability to lank people off.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Lancaster will be like. I think like they're definitely going to be a decent team. Like, they're really not that bad. Of course, they got Aaron and DMAC, and then whether I don't know if Films is actually completely gone or if he's just taking a break.
Films is he's studying basically. He's effectively, I mean, not so much given up, but he's just agreed to sort of move away, seeing as there was a replacement available, and has worked out for both of them, I guess.
Yeah, and so I know they had Hugo last week, right? So yeah, I mean, yeah, they're still like a really decent team, and like if they can get some good chemistry, because we've said time and time again that kind of the deciding factor for teams isn't necessarily individual skill nowadays. It's more of this like team chemistry style of play. So I think they can definitely still make waves in the top of the bracket.
It's just knowing that they're sort of the caliber team similar to like Loughborough, where there's going to be at this point almost like a 10 position C where you don't really know where people are going to end up. Certainly going in, and it's certainly with Lankers, just because people will probably play against them and like, what do we really expect now? It's going to probably feel like a very different team going in. Whether or not it will play different is a different matter. But, like, I haven't asked any of the teams what it's like playing them in comparison now.
I think there'll be a teething period, because obviously it's going to be a slight change since you left. I think it'll be a different style of team, but I think also people are definitely sleeping on Lankers, because obviously Aaron's very talented, and I'm not sure people know who he is. But obviously also we've got DMAC, who I think a lot of people.
He's one of the most experienced players now.
Yeah, exactly. He's in big games. He'll always turn up and he'll do what needs to be done. And I think a lot of people forget that obviously because he was partnered with you, and you two were sort of dominating.
Just sort of
all of the seasons,
people naturally underappreciated.
Yeah, exactly. It's an afterthought. Whereas actually, Lancaster, I think, with a little bit of training and some scrims, will be quite a challenging team.
Yeah, it's definitely true. Anytime we would perform bad, I would seem to just not get any blame whatsoever from people outside. And yet, anytime we performed well, it would just be completely neglected. It's just the way it ends up, I guess. But I'm trying to think who's been in NSE playing consistently as long as someone like DMAC.
Matt M.
That's true.
I think he's been in there since the dawn of time.
I'm trying to think, who else is there that's been in the full duration now?
Egregious?
Yeah, that's true. Egregious. She's been in National League every season, though. Is it just DMAC and Matt?
I think it may be.
You're
I can't
talking
think
about
of
the
anybody
sort of
else.
someone who's been in National League from the very start. Literally.
Well, I think you've got a lot of the Titans of University Rocket League obviously left last year. So I think you had people like Jaded and perhaps Geordie Unknown who'd been around for a while.
Yeah, that's fair. But this is the new and improved era, really. That's why we're talking about it.
It's definitely a more competitive era.
Exactly. It's only getting better. That's why we're talking about it. And talking about the good teams and not like Lozza going 1 and 2.
Yeah, imagine talking about teams that are going 1 and 2. I mean, it's just like, in this day and age, in this economy.
Actually, we have our notes here. Do we have the teams that went 0 and 3?
Oh, I'm not sure we have the notes on who went 0 and 3. I know for Bath, 4th team did that. So if we'd like to give a shout out to BA2.
Nice. I want to shout out to Lankers B. You say they nearly actually beat Kiel. They took them to 5.
Yeah, they took Kiel to game 5. That was just after Lankers A swept Kiel and Lankers B almost did for double.
Oh
my. I mean, there's a harsh word to There's a harsh word to use, right, in terms of disappointment, but in terms of underperformance, you would think Kiel getting sort of swept aside by Lankers A, not really knowing what to expect from that match there, but then obviously struggling against Lankers B. Surely there's got to be some creases that need ironing out after that sort of week. It's not what you really want to open up with.
Well, especially after doing so well in the Society Showdown, where they swept Lankers, the likes of... Actually, I don't know if they swept Lankers, but they played a lot of teams and they swept a lot of good teams. And then they faced perhaps people not as good later on and suffered a fairly tragic result in...
This is just the way the day went, and that's thankfully why we have more than one qualifying day. But we should let's pick up the other games, to be fair, since we went all over the 3-0s, and that's cool, and we're expecting big things. But we actually had quite a few close round 3 games, 3 of them in fact actually. One of them, the first one we got here, is the Liverpool Arctic E Boys. Absolutely lovely name, by the way. We've got that they actually did beat Durham Defenders 3-2, which according to seeding was actually an upset, and I didn't get to see that series. Of course, we had incredible series on stream. I don't actually recall which games were on the second stream, so there may be VODs of these. I don't know if any of you saw them or heard about that game, but Liverpool beating Durham 3-2.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I didn't see the game. However, I can imagine it would have been a really tight series. Of course, Durham doing so well in the Society Showdown. And Liverpool are always this kind of threat. There's always this team that... they're going to be so explosive and they're going to be so kind of unexpected. They're just flying around and we don't really know what to expect. So I'm sure that would have been a really close series, and it's interesting to see that Liverpool took it. I really thought that Durham, this would be kind of their year after doing so well. They seem like a really solid team that have always done consistently well, and now their players are finally starting to step up individually. But Liverpool just beating them, which is a surprise. It's
wild, actually. In theory, I've got the Orange County game here, round 3. They played UWE Sea Stags. Has the UWE Sea Stags roster changed since last season?
So they've lost Jordan, and they've picked up Theorist of the Wind, who I believe handles production for UE normally.
Yeah, actually, no, I remember that. He stepped in as a sub 1 week last season, I think. Potentially. They beating out Essex, Orange County, 3-2, which was Orange County involved in all the dramatic series. Of course, we had them on stream round 2 against, they were against
Bath, I believe.
Oh yes, they were. I was thinking about the first game, Nottingham Huddersfield. They were against Bath Salts. Bath A team, mentioned it earlier. What a game that was. Highlights such as first thing that immediately comes into my mind is Switch trying to musty off his own backboard and just watching the ball getting slapped into his own net. But aside from that moment, actually most of the goals actually varied. Some really, really good ones as well. Definitely one catching back and watching if you haven't already. A 3-2 win that swung back and forth, especially because Essex just sort of sat on them game 1, and then suddenly they were the underdogs non-stop, and Bath were just in control, and then suddenly it flips again, and that was a wild series. And then we find out that Essex take UWE to game 5 only to just lose out, and now we also know that Essex, with another player available, rumours in the wind, on the grapevine we should say, So definitely a wild card of a team Essex could be. We'd expect them to sneak into nationals, I guess, but not the sort of team you'd want to run against in early rounds of nationals. It seems like they have quite the high ceiling.
Well, I think also it's another indicator of that strength across the board now, because UE obviously coming into seasons as hot favourites because you've got Sebadam, obviously a very well established player, and they've been taken to a game 5 by a completely new outfit who have played together a limited amount of times. So it's very interesting to see.
It's true. Lozza, you like with the tissues crying about the series, but I won't bring it up again. Did you watch the Orange County game when they played against Bath on stream?
I didn't know. I know completely nothing about this Essex team. I've only heard kind of good things about them. But no, I mean, we've had a few run-ins with UWE. They're the only really team I can mention, and they still seem really solid. Of course, like you can never discount Sebadam. But Theorist of Wind actually fits in like quite nicely. He's a kind of a player that is just kind of an all-round good in pretty much all aspects. He does nothing special, which is of course not what you want in a team with Sebadam. Sebadam's gonna have all the limelight really traditionally, but yeah, no, I think UE are still a really decent team, and yeah, but I don't know about this Essex team. Like if they've got this other player to go alongside Switch, I think it could be pretty scary for all these top teams.
That's fair enough. The last round 3 game that we haven't talked about was, of course, the round 3 game on stream that ended up finishing like 11 PM on the night, just because we had so many game 5s. It was unreal. And that was, of course, UEA Blue Jays, the winners of the Society Showdown, coming up against the University of Birmingham Badgers. Not sure why they've called themselves Badgers this season, but they have. And what a series that was. Maybe we can show some highlights from you on screen now. I'm not sure. We'll certainly be looking over highlights from it later, so high fire for them if you want. But really, you should just watch the VOD, because it was a great series, and it was back and forth. Game 1, UEA, they literally just pack up University of Birmingham. They just put them in a cardboard box, just send them off across the world, because University of Birmingham, they weren't awake yet. They actually just weren't. And then suddenly, the amount of chaos the University of Birmingham managed to cause with these short touches and chaos in the box, and Triss just kept picking up short distance touch-ins like it was crazy, but some really good team plays as well. And suddenly UEA were down 2-1, only for them to manage to scrape out and then hold a lead and get Birmingham to overextend in game 5 to see it out in what was an emotional game 5 series. I take it, I mean, surely you saw that one, guys, because you had definitely finished all your games by then. It was that late.
For sure. I thought it was a really good game, actually, a really good series, and it's quite contrasting because UEA have this sort of tight-knit, they've played a lot together, like a lot so far, and they've got this good teamwork, good synergy, and they make these nice plays. And University of Birmingham, Badgers, although I think there was a petition to call them Blobfish. But they have this weird style right now where I think they're trying to figure themselves out a little bit, and they've got this very powerful style where they seem to overpower teams with like the demos, the long backboard hits, and just force them into errors.
Yeah, I think that's just a really, really good factor in like just generally these lower seeded teams playing against like a team especially as well established as UEA. Just like the idea of kind of bringing the chaos, going for these demos, and like really kind of making the game kind of chaotic and to not kind of play it traditionally. And like, because when you've got a team like UEA who's played together for so long, they play in IEL and they scrim loads, and I think that it's actually a really good matchup for UOB. It's a shame they couldn't take it, but I've had quite a lot of experience playing with Choco, and I've played with Matty in the past, and I know that Choco especially just likes to kind of bump and demo and make it really, really awkward for the other team. So yeah, I think that's just a good factor going into other games where if you're a lower seeded team and you're playing against these really kind of established teams, just try and make it just as scrappy as possible, because you always have a fighting chance, and that's one of the factors that really makes like University of Rocket League in general, I think, kind of so exciting, because these lower teams can take games off the established teams.
That is fair. I mean, what a statement win it would have been if Birmingham could have taken that series as well, because certainly a few question marks around them. You look at the roster and you think, yeah, that's high quality, but the results so far, I mean, maybe they haven't lived up to quite what you'd expect. I mean, sure, that's early days, but that would have been quite the win for them to get. And I mean, it's still a statement, the fact of how good a series it was. but I'm sure they went to bed thinking about what could have been that night, only to, of course, not quite see it out. But no, that's fair. In terms of the other matches on stream, the first one we had was Nottingham-Huddersfield. I don't know how those two teams ended up finishing, but I'm right in saying, of course, it was 5 games. And Nottingham, I believe, won it out with Jason Bourne putting in quite the performance. He's not actually called Jason Bourne. His name is Bourne. And Billy Harrington, if I'm remembering correctly. I really wish I could remember these full rosters. Please, they were... I was like, you probably didn't see this game, but it was actually quite like I didn't know what to expect.
I did watch
going
it. Was
in.
it a reverse sweep? Or was it
not
a
quite.
game?
No. All of our games were 3-2s that went 2-1 and then flipped back. The person 2-1 up lost. It was actually wild.
Is that Nottingham team the team that Cheggers is on, or is that a different team?
Yes, it's Cheggers,
Yes, I think it is.
Billy Harrington, and Bourne, I believe. And honestly, from thinking that when we went into this game, expecting Nottingham and Huddersfield to both be sort of fringe national teams or top of regionals, honestly, they both put up really quite a good show. Of course, you've got Cal and Huddersfield, which is an easy talking point, but both teams really actually quite good, especially Nottingham. They made some really nice counter-attacks where they actually targeted the ball rather than just sort of lobbed it. Definitely actually potential there. I don't know how much they're able to play the game, let them play the game together, but it was actually a really nice fresh breath of fresh air to open the season with.
Well, and it's a nice thing, like we said, it all comes back to we're getting these new talent coming in. I was speaking to Cheggers about the Nottingham team, and he was saying, I think it was the BMSE guy, I don't know if that's his name.
Yeah.
But they had a guy, and he was top 100 in 2s and 3s about 4 seasons ago, but he dropped the game. So he's come back to uni, he's picked it up again. So it'll be interesting to see what we can do with teams like that.
Actually, Billy Harrington, my mistake. Billy Harrington was actually on Huddersfield, pretty sure. This is my bad, I remember it from the same match. It is Bumps, yes, because I remember not really knowing how to pronounce his name. And also the third on Huddersfield, who was like Hijikita? Ends in JKT?
Yeah, we'll
some very creative ones, yeah. Sorry, please correct me if you're hearing this. It is shameful from me. I should point out that in our captain's meeting, we literally had 250 people in the meeting, and that's crazy, and the representation is crazy, but you'll find that, obviously, in our podcast, it's easy for us to talk about the high-flying matches, the premium ones, the ones that we see on stream, but if you've got stories and clips from your week in the games, please do tell us, because we go through the whole highlights channel, and we will go through that and touch on that in a bit. But if you've got stories and just series you're proud of in the week, please do let us know, because we need as many notes as possible. Like, I'm looking at this Nottingham Huddersfield game, and then I'm remembering that I didn't actually check on how they did from the remainder of that week. I don't know if Huddersfield went 1-2, if they went 2-1, same for Nottingham. I actually don't know how they did. We need a super database. That's what we need. We need to be able to put a search query in. But it's okay though. Of all the 3 games, we've talked a bit about Orange County Bath. We've talked obviously about UA Blue Jays against Birmingham. We've talked about Nottingham Huddersfield. But really, we know that the Sheffield Derby game had the most unreal comeback in it of any of those games. I will have to check the VOD for the exact timing. But I can tell you that Derby had a 3-goal lead with something like 40 seconds left. I'm sure you can gather what happened next.
No, what happened?
I don't need to let you know that somehow Sheffield Saints just came back. I don't think Sheffield lost the overtime. Yes. Because what happened was, okay, so Derby are 4-1 up with 40 seconds or so left.
Mm-hmm.
At 0 seconds, with like 6 seconds left, Sheffield had scored 4 goals and they're 5-4 up. And then they concede a kickoff goal and it's 5-5 and it goes to overtime. And I actually cannot remember which team won 6-5 in that overtime. I just remember what was a very hit and run of a game, very entertainment in terms of the quality.
Sheffield did take it, actually.
Sheffield
I've got the results.
They did indeed take the result. I know that for sure. It was insane. Probably actually one of the most entertaining series I've seen in ages. Whether the quality was of national levels, we don't know. With 32 teams, it'll be a push for either of the teams I'd expect. But then again, that's how they played on one day. If any of them made it, I actually wouldn't be shocked, because there were definitely sparks of brilliance and sparks of something not so brilliant in that series, in terms of conceding something like 6 goals in what was 40 seconds in terms of both teams. It was pretty impressive, and like I said, very entertaining. I don't really know. Everything was so disorganized and organized at the same time. Like, it was very unclicked, but then suddenly a team would click, and there was some very nice plays, and then just you'd look away for 1 second and you'd have missed a goal. Like, you couldn't tear yourself away from the screen. And for some reason, it was one of the most hotly contested. I was there in the Twitch chat because I was not commentating that game, I was not casting, and it was definitely the most personal of the matchups. For some reason, Sheffield and Derby with a terrible rivalry. Hopefully, they'll get to play each other again in upcomings. But yeah, that's I think brings to the end of the matches we had on stream. Unless you've got any other comments about those.
No, all I was going to say is I think that's a good point that kind of we wouldn't really get to see these sorts of matches if it wasn't for kind of, I think we had, how many streams did we have this week? Did we have 2 or 3 streams going all at the same time? I believe it was it was 2 or 3. So yeah, I think that's a really good point. If we can if NSE can keep having 2 or 3 streams and we get to see kind of these lower teams having these really great and entertaining games, because you don't always want to see the best team with the pristine plays. You want to see a bit of a garbage fest. Teams kind of just throw themselves at the ball. It can make for some of the most entertaining matches. So I think that's
for sure.
positive.
Like, no one wants to see Antman do another dribble and flick. Like,
Yeah,
sometimes you want to see the likes of Luke Nova in the Sheffield Saints getting down and dirty and winning the games in overtime.
Hell yeah.
It was truly, it was a beautiful sight to behold. And it's just, you catch up on all the results and then you realise that you actually only caught up in a fraction of the results. And then if you look down, there's actually so many stories that we miss out on. So again, please let us know, because it was really nice. So we had, 250 people in the meeting, the captain's meeting. Of course, if you were there, I actually wasn't sitting in the cast booth, but I actually have a clip of it now, and you'll hear it through my audio, hopefully, of the highlight of the captain's meeting, which I think we can all agree was Cinerus's lovely voice turning into an alligator. Here we go.
Teams in the south side again. That was the other one. I got north.
92.
That was north. Was 92, right?
South is 83.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right. So, moving on, we have explained the toilet system. Now to explain how to get your matches. Once the fixtures go up, you will see that each match has a match ID number. Now, the way you make a lobby is the lobby name is NSE followed by the match ID number, and the password is just NSE. I will put this in the announcement section as well, along with some helpful pictures, but you can already find those helpful pictures and those explanations in the player's guide, which again is in the announcements channel, and I will go fetch that and post it slightly different.
And I'm sure you can agree that was a beautiful composition, actually. Mozart was working on something similar before he tragically passed away, but Cinerus finished off his work there, as you heard. It was beautiful. And now I think really to round up to make sure we've seen everything, and hopefully if you're watching as well as just listening, you will get to see these at the same time. We're going to basically go through the highlights channel, so make sure if you do have a highlight, do put it in the highlights channel in NSE Discord. The first that I'm looking at here, I've got my first tab, and it is a GIF from Meow. I'm watching it. He's strolling on by, he's slapping the ball down the line, following it up. It's very rainy, it's realistic, with one hell of a pinch. Some tactical touch from Tom, and he's just gently tucked his way in the top corner. Very clean, very clean. Quite nice, it's quite nice. If we were going to have our own monster plays, or plays of the week, or very spooky skeleton Halloween plays, then, it's clean. Whether or not it'll win, I'm not sure. I feel like it's just a clean. It's just a clean.
It's strong. It's a nice little team play. A little cucks pinch. Plays it back to himself. Love it.
Yeah, I'm also now looking at Breezy's clip on my next tab. But Breezy, he's in some weird looking Fennec, so he's already losing marks from me. His team is losing 3-0, so obviously he's going to go for freestyle, and that's quite a nice goal. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty nice. I actually do these in most games, so it's not that impressive, obviously. I'm sure we actually all do these in most games. That's actually not that impressive, is it, guys?
I also think if we have a look at the goal line technology here, the ball doesn't actually go all the way across.
That's actually a very fair point.
So I'm not sure we can give anything for this.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I mean, it's basically got saved. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much a void clip. I mean,
yeah.
We just discount this.
Yeah, actually.
Breezy,
yeah,
do better next time.
I will admit, in our game against him, he did almost land a triple flip reset on me.
Yeah,
and
the
I
key
was
word there
rooted.
is almost, isn't it?
Yeah, hit the crossbar,
Yeah.
so better luck next time.
Exactly, better luck next time. So we do have found the worst play of the week there before. That's officially awarded. Moving on to SoulNoraifu's play, and I believe this one's quite spectacular in overtime as well. We do see the recording from the replay. It's lovely. Up on the wall, swinging it into the middle. It's coming, and it's coming to. Oh my goodness! It's like a pull shot bump.
It's a triple bump.
Is it?
It's all
Where's the
three. It's all three if a guy comes in.
Oh,
I mean, I really can't tell if he's driving an Octane or a JCB. I mean,
Yeah,
it's really
he's
spectacular.
cleared everyone out. It's amazing.
that's insane. Actually, the question is because the replay doesn't show, right? Was this intentional? Because he literally just lands. And we don't
No,
see
I'm
ball
sure
come on.
we can take this was all intentional. Look at him.
We're gonna put it.
definitely
Look at
meant
that. It's
it.
literally like a napalm strike.
But just insult to injury, overtime as well.
Oh
Kick
my
off goal
goodness.
takes a triple bump. You hate to see that.
Yeah, if you lose to this in overtime, you're permanently tilted for the rest of the night. I mean, there's
Yeah,
no
next-
avoiding it. Like,
Next game is a sweep against
Because it
you
goes
for
in
sure.
so slowly, and you're just flying through midair, and you just have to watch it trickle in, while you're just yeeting across your own goal. That's actually pain as well. Props for the completely uncoordinated yellow wheels as well. Like that's tasty. Really adds to the clip, I feel. Hey, I'm now moving on to KalliManSam with 133 views on the Twitch clip. It's Leclans versus Manchester Hive. She Actually Dribble is the name of the clip we're playing in now. Looking at some nice Fennec gameplay, some nice disco lights in the top left. Absolutely parting, absolutely kicking off at a literally 2.5 FPS in the webcam. I'm not even looking at the gameplay, I'm looking at the webcam, but this is one hell of a nice clean dribble. The early flick completely catching out the goalie. Very clean, it must be said. Props to I think it's only half a minute into the game. I'm going to criticise 4 points, but you're not going to do that because we're not mean. Actually pretty nice.
No, nice little clean dribble.
I think the reaction, just the complete limbs from his teammates. I mean, just really adds to it. I mean,
It does.
I mean, also respect to wearing a crown whilst attempting to dribble. That takes a special sort of someone.
Exactly, that's like added difficulty. It's nice. It's nice. We need more of this. But then again, if we had more plays like this, then these plays wouldn't be special, and that's quite a special looking play. Skizzralde, what I'm looking at next. Assist 4. Apparently Skizzralde just got like 4 assists. Oh, I mean, that is 4 goals. With one hell of a lot of goals. It's a very clean little spinny air dribble. Gets it past the goalkeeper and tucks it in nicely behind another. Somehow finding a way through what was a 3-player defense effectively against Loughborough. In fact, Lozza's in it. Lozza scores. Yeah, this play is terrible. This isn't a regulation play.
I was
I was going to say.
Yeah, go on.
No, I was going to say. Well, I've played with a Skizz, and I've seen him do a lot of impressive things. I just personally, this isn't one of them for me. I think it's quite a clean air dribble, but the end product's a little tap in for Lozza.
The stakes.
If you're Anton Dubek, right, and you've got to give him a number out of 10.
Oh, it's probably a 6 at best.
6. I mean, that's high standards. That's high standards. You
It's
know,
above
I think
average,
the
it's above
the
average.
execution is probably like a 6. Probably because it was a 7, but then Lozza got involved, so it banned
that's
out for
true.
6. The stakes were like 8 or 9 though. You know,
Oh,
in
yeah,
an
yeah, big
8-goal
moments.
game, half a minute left to equalise against Loughborough. You know, it's pretty nice to take 3 players out of the game effectively. Open the ball up, and you know you must have created a very, very good chance when Lozza manages to actually score it. So really hard work there. Done by Skizzralde. Fair play. On to the next one is Quokka. Seeing
This is
Dominus
completely
Floating.
intentional. I'm going to say right now.
Damn, I haven't seen this yet. Okay, so this is. What is that? I mean, it's definitely intentional to get the second touch. Whether or
See a
not
little rotate.
the first thought was, I'm scoring this top left-hand corner. I doubt, but that's not the point. This is... What?
It's unreal.
It's pretty damn unreal.
Oh my, I mean, this just like validates the point. It just adds another point to why the Dominus is just OP. This car is bonkers. Look at the schnoz on this car. You wouldn't have reached this with any other car, I'm telling you.
Very snubbed the ball.
This is everything I want to see in my monster plays. This is a monstrous
That's
goal for
one hell
me.
of a goal. I could watch that for ages. That's nice. I'm gonna leave that tab open. For some reason, I actually did close all the other tabs, especially Breezy's. You know, I probably could have kept Breeze's. Probably could have kept Breeze's open. That's fine. I got a good memory,
that was
so
the
it's
worst.
fine. I'm moving on to some god tier Twitch clip with UEA Blue Jays against University of Birmingham badges, of course. Some play in the corner. Oh, it's Kayjay just getting stuck to the ball. It was actually it was a bug. I don't know if we can give credit for a bug. But for some reason, Kayjay kept clicking the pass to yourself button in free play, and yeah, it was actually a game. So actually a bit of an exploit there.
Yeah, I don't think you can use macros in a game. You can't just press the pass to yourself button. So I think KJ, this goal isn't allowed. I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is
Cheating.
another disqualified goal.
Just cheating.
Classic.
It's just really depressing because all three Birmingham players were so close, and yet none of them actually block it at all. It literally is toying with them. He literally pokes it past May, pokes it past Choco, and then just takes a dump on Triss's head, basically. And that was to make it 3-0 in game one. Like, this is in the first minute and a half. And we were looking at the series like, okay, we've had game 5s all of today. There's no way this one goes to game 5. But of course, as we know, that was the end of good things KJ did in that series, which is a complete lie. He just fell asleep for 2 games. But they found themselves again in game 4 and 5. And kept making plays. Maybe not as impressive as this one, but only put it together. It's quite nice. Do I close the tab? I'm going to close the tab. Oh, it's actually from Lozza. Okay, so Lozza, commentate.
Talk us through it.
Talk us
through it.
We can already confirm this is a meaningless goal because it's 2-0 with less than 30 seconds left. But carry on.
Yeah. So I mean, like you said, there's 30 seconds left. This ball's popping to me, and like I can see this net is wide open. But I mean, what is a wide open net if you're not going to take a touch and fake it past the guy? Am I right? So bit of style points. Get the morale going for next game.
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't think it actually matters who this is against, Vechs. I think a goal is a goal. And,
no, I just want to know
it doesn't
who
really
this
matter.
You're trying to name the opposition. You're trying to embarrass someone.
No. I was genuinely curious who it was against.
Yeah, Vechs, I hear what you're saying, but it doesn't actually matter, you see.
Okay,
So,
we'll move on.
It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. If it weren't for the circumstances, then it would probably be a open tab. But I've just closed it.
I have to admit, your car does look a bit Hull City colours.
It really does. It's foreshadowing the
this
events.
was a play. God save the Queen. This play was nice.
Oh, this was very clean.
This was honestly, to me, this is the series winning goal. Because they're down in game 4 on match point and they haven't scored. They got shut out in game 3. But this is the goal that just sort of edges them floodgates back open and gives them room to work with. Like, this really is the series changing goal.
It's just a momentum builder, and a UEA I think are very much momentum based. When it's going good, it's going great, and we know the goals fly in at an unprecedented speed.
Yeah.
So it was about getting it back on the mark for them.
It's just so big for them to get the first goal in that game.
Yeah, I think it's really important as well. It wasn't even like a clear-cut opportunity. It was like more of like a half opportunity, and the fact that you can score that so early in the game, like Vechs said, it's just a momentum builder. It's a really nice goal.
Keep that tab open. The stakes were big. Oh, this.
So this was just I don't really understand still what Antman did.
I was really this was I don't really know how to react to this. I didn't know how to react in the moment. It was honestly the play is for the defense from Birmingham, and the fact they still conceded from it is actually just like depressing. It's really funny at the same time.
Yeah, you feel a bit bad for them, but obviously Antman, a freestyler, we don't know what he is. He's just there to dunk.
I can't believe how well Triss does to not own goal. And then Choco to pre-flip across. And then May just comes in and slaps it at Antman's face as he just happens to be bouncing off their post. It just...
So is what you're trying to say is Matty clear the ball properly?
I don't know how often you're going to expect someone to have just Tony Hawk skated up your wall and just be floating next to your post. Like, what is that? We can't give it as the best play because of how, like, unintentional it was to end up in that situation. Sure, he worked with it. And full credit to Antman. But to win a series like that is actually just...
It's brutal. It is brutal.
Now playing UEA Dominance, feat Antman. 1 minute 17. That was the chat at the time. Credit to them. That's quite the highlight, but I don't know if we can give it the play of the week. Oh, I've got Veteran. He's got off Doda and he's playing Rocket League in his Dominus with Terrible lightning wheels from 2016.
And a bear.
Actually, hold up. That's insane.
This is pretty good.
Oh my goodness. So we see Vechs giving up the ball, but obviously tactically to release it to Veteran, as he gets 1 player to miss, 2 players to miss, 3 players to miss.
And forces Breezi to own goal for him.
That is true. So at some point, we're going to have to digest what it was that Veteran did here to actually make them miss.
I think it was just the beret. It was the respect for the military that caused Breezi just to back off and flip away.
Yeah, I mean, you see a guy in a beret coming towards you. I mean, you have to just stand up and salute. I mean, and that's what Breezi has done right here. I respect it greatly.
It's like I wouldn't walk into Max on a Veteran on a dark night down a dark alley. So I completely understand the feelings here.
I can't believe we're talking about this. But here it is, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to have to keep that tab open. I have genuinely kept that tab open because of how impressive it was. I've now got a submission from It's a Pity. I think I know who it is. Of course, it is... Wait, you scored this?
Yeah, I scored this.
Okay, I've closed the tab. Not just because of you, but because of the nuke goal explosion that meant I can no longer see. I wanted to look at it a second time, but I have been blinded.
That's understandable.
So what I'm seeing here is you guys coming on here promoting goals that you've scored when the games are already over. That's what I'm getting from this.
Rumour has it, but these are the moments you've got to go for your monster plays, really.
So you wouldn't go for this normally?
No, I always go for this, and I get scorned by my team. Why do you think I'm playing on the second team here? I'm here for monster plays, and that's it. Here for a good time, not a long time.
I mean, it's pretty nice. So we're completely invalidated. 1 because it's you, and 2 because of the circumstances. Cytochrome _ YouTube. Don't check him out on YouTube. We don't appreciate obviously that promotion. Hang on a minute, this is big.
Oh, it's a beautiful team play.
This is beef. Like, this is the beef jerky in the can right now. Rip me off a strip because, like, this is 10 seconds left to equalize. End-to-end passing play. Clean, one-touch football. Bim bang slang. This is like, honestly, this is
straight off the training park, that.
That is what you would say, isn't it? Straight off the training park. I mean, it did make the orange defenders, the blue defenders literally look like the little yellow men standing there, put up as walls. They didn't really know how to react to this. The space was given up in the midfield, and it was one hell of a lot punished for.
Yeah, literally, like if you had set pieces in Rocket League, like this would be it right here.
That's true.
It's pristine.
If team free play was a thing, that's the sort of thing you would do non-stop.
So
That's
true.
someone slonk it across. Return it. It's very nice. We'll leave this tab open. It's very nice. I've now got UEA Blue Jays when they were up 4-1 in game 1 against the Birmingham Badgers. Oh, this was a nice play. Shame it. Oh, mate, this was.
Yeah, we have a small public service announcement. Queen Scots, if you are listening, turn it off for the next minute or so.
This was. I mean, Maddie did not do some great things at the start of this game 1, but as much as it would have been cool if that fixed it, they did indeed bring it back to 4-3, I believe, actually. This was, yeah. I mean, the goal is great. I think Queen Scott's reaction in Discord was even better, though. I hope we can put that on screen to go with it. Yes, it was an understandable reaction. Maybe we shouldn't talk about this one too much. It is quite harmful.
It's one of those upsetting moments.
It's very nice. What a series! I'll leave it open. It was quite the nice play. We have a goal from Psycho I've opened. They are up 4-1. He's trying to copy you guys. Going up. They're flying. He's got the. That's actually very nice. You don't see that sort of thing as often. It's quite satisfying watching the unfortunate orange team, who will not be identified, just go absolutely flying past the ball. Only for it to land and then go in. That's a very happy goal to score. Unfortunately, the game is basically over at this point. But my, if we took circumstances out of the equation, I think this is like my favourite so far.
Yeah, for sure. It's one of those like unconventional goals, and how effective it was in this situation. It's like you said, it's really satisfying to watch. Does he get the flip reset and then just single jump off the ball? That's
I
insane.
think so. It looks like he for sure got the flip. I don't see how he wouldn't have there.
And he gets the pop as well. Yeah,
Very
Psycho's pretty good at
nice.
this video game. He's alright.
Nice.
But I also think we can't give him a goal of week because he somehow won that goal of year. Where
True,
definitely
yeah,
not for goal of the year. We don't really know how
true.
he got that.
So
So
it's fine. Bad circumstances. I'm just closing it.
Yeah.
get it out.
Keery. Okay, pings it out, but Keery picks it up. Just from the defender's perspective, unfortunate. Booth cannot make it. The flip reset there. It's in the top corner. 2-2-2-2-2 and nil. Fortunately, we don't have the full twos. This is pretty nice. Definitely a game sort of securing goal. Booth made to look a little bit silly. Very clean. I don't know the circumstances of the series at that point, but it's certainly a nice goal.
Yeah, definite minus points for clipping it from the defender's point of view.
That's true, actually. It's kind of
Definite
BM.
minus points. Very big.
Well, what that tells me is Keery obviously didn't think it was a nice enough shot to record himself. Therefore, we should
That's
also
true.
not think
We
it's that
should
nice.
assume his perspective wasn't as good. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, we could close it. Close it. Terrible goal. Terrible goal. Orange County against Bath. What was this?
I've watched this so many times and I still don't know. Is
Like-
the genuine answer?
I think it's like lag from the observer as well, potentially playing in. Like it's actually unreal how that ball goes the way it does. I don't understand how it doesn't go more up.
Yeah, that's pretty insane. I mean, are we saying this is intentional?
I mean, it's definitely intentional to get a touch. Whether or not Lexeno had any belief that he was going to score is a different matter. But the fact it doesn't even touch the ground or sides as it goes in, like what?
Yeah, that is pretty nice. That's like a 1 in... I don't know, that's a 1 in a
I've,
million.
like,
You never see that.
literally, it's like 1 in a million. Of course, I can't say the intention is to score there, but I have to leave this open from how like unexpected it was.
Yeah, it's just impressive.
One thing I'd like to
Unreal.
comment on this series, which I think we need a word from you, Tylacto, is obviously Adam G was roasted a little bit over his shooting percentages last season.
Ah,
I would like to say, and I think you'll probably agree, that obviously his shooting seems to have increased massively
I mean,
this
judging
season.
by this game so far, I can see on the clip that he has 1 goal from 3 shots.
Okay, that's at least like a
Definitely an improvement.
That's
considering
25% increase.
He was
Like, come
getting
on.
like 9% last season.
Yep.
He's literally like nearly tripled that, so he has over tripled it at this point in this game. We should really just have a section about Adam G every week, shouldn't we?
No, honestly, I could do that.
Yeah. I mean, Bath did not win that series though, so maybe we
That's
can't.
true. Well, apparently they weren't at full strength or something, so
we
we'll
have
come back to that
we
another
have
time.
another clip from that series. Actually, it's an Orange County passing play.
We have 2 more, I think.
This was some very impressive goals, actually. This was quite the nice goal. Completely wrong foot in the goalies. It didn't even need to be a good finish at the end. It's kind of more satisfying that it isn't, and the fact that you just have to watch how completely stretched the defense was. Very gentle toss into the net.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about high-level Rocket League and like the type of players you want to see, like this is pretty textbook. All of the passes are so satisfying when they're not like flying at you. They're really nice speed, and like you said, it doesn't even need to be a nice shot. It's just
Well, I think,
Yeah.
and that's the thing,
Beautiful.
isn't it? You've got all these good players who are capable of doing all these complex hand movements to move their cars however they want, and it's about putting those people in these awkward positions because there was nothing Remulus or Adam G could do about those shots. And it wasn't a perfect shot, but they'd been contorted already by the passing plays to just have no chance for it.
Yeah.
true. If you think about it like that, Rocket League is just Chinese checkers.
Whoa.
Yep.
Tell me I'm
Confirmed.
wrong.
Just viewing it through the wrong way, aren't we?
Exactly.
We have the Remulus.exe has stopped responding, which, in fairness, he may have stopped responding. I think he kind of assumed that he was not going to save this goal, given the fact that he should probably have been demoed or bumped if should he tried to have blocked this. It's just the manner of which he seems to put his controller down is pretty impressive.
Psychological warfare. I think he'd already received a bump or two that game or the
Actually,
games
he had,
before.
yeah.
Yeah, and there was unfortunate, like similar circumstances. And this time, I think he just thought he was getting bumped again.
Yeah, Bath have had a rough time in this series. They've been clipped on 3 times. Poor Bath, man.
It is a shame. We've done a hell of a series. This actually puts Orange County in the lead in match point game. they needed this goal desperately. It's a hugely important goal as well. Wild. Actually, I do really like the goal. Maybe it's not the most impressive, but it's... Oh, it was entertaining. Very entertaining. It's actually the end of the clips that I have here, interestingly. The ones that I still have open. I should definitely obviously have Breezi open, but he is 3-0 down, so maybe I'm right to not keep it open. I have Quokka's very strange double touch. I have God Save the Queen. I have okay. No, I'm closing veterans, looking at the ball, making 3 players miss it.
I wish we could keep that in, but I
I have
just don't think it's fair.
Cytochromes, last ditch passing play to equalise. I have the Birmingham passing plays fake.
Do we not have the
stream.
triple bump?
That's the one that I would have kept open did I not have closed the first few. I do want the triple bump on. And I have Switch's flip reset. Which, if we're just going to do a group of highlight plays, then we can just throw them in. If you had to pick a particular winner, what would you guys pick personally?
Personally, I've got to pick. How do you say his name? Quokka. Quokka's play. I mean, it's just so satisfying. It might not be the most intentional thing, but I mean, it's actually beautiful. Like the tiny touch just off the nose of his car, and it's like I feel like any millimeters to the left, and it just would have bounced off the post and gone out. Like it's too perfect not to vote for.
Personally, I love that goal, but in Rocket League I think it's a mental game. Love to get inside someone's head because then you own someone. So I'm gonna have to go for the triple bump. I think once that's happened, and that's an OT winner. There's no coming back for that. For the evening, even the rest of the games, you've probably got them beat purely because you have free real estate in their mind.
Preach.
I'm not sure. I'm still kind of torn between the one in a million shot against Nottingham or God Save the Queen on stream. I mean, both of them are on stream actually, but I don't know. I just think the clutchness of the God Save the Queen is something not. I mean, to be fair, the clutchness of Cytochrome's late equalizer as well. I'm actually going to go for Cytochrome's equalizer just because it wasn't on stream and we didn't get to see it, and I'm very glad that we did get to.
And obviously all these and more goals, which we may not have seen, will be on the Monster Plays on the NSE website.
That's true.
So
I can't
definitely
wait to see what randomly gets voted as the winner and completely invalidates our opinions.
Exactly. So get across there and vote as well, so we can get some perhaps more accurate results rather than Warwick taking over the voting of their huge society and just gifting themselves a winner.
Hey, I don't know what you mean. These Monster Plays winners are all definitely very deserved. I definitely haven't won that competition twice and have too many monster drops to even know what to do with.
Lady
Rigged,
Penelope,
my point.
with a literal pyramid, the 7th or 8th wonder of the world is the pyramid of monster cans in Lady Penelope's university room. Quite literally.
Very true.
Did we ever get a picture of it? How much monster it was?
Oh, and there was also a ridiculous amount heading Brighton's way after the stay-at-home series, wasn't there?
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that is a stupid amount.
We need photos of them. That's not healthy.
Yeah, like one monster drop, it's 96 cans. That's enough for any regular human being who doesn't just survive off caffeine. But how much do you get at the stay-at-home series? It was like a 6 months or a year's worth. Like
I think it was a year's.
How they do a year's
so
worth of
much.
supply, I do not know.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
But that's probably a good note to end on. Other energy drinks are available, but NSE is of course sponsored by Monster, so do try Monster and do try and get Monster plays in the coming week of NSE, and hopefully we'll be talking about your play here. Do you show up on Tuesday? I won't be showing up on Tuesday, sadly. I will be away, but I will be casting and back next week, so that's just me. No, I don't matter. No longer playing anymore. Focus on playing, and again, please do give us your stories. I don't want to talk about National League every week. I mean, sure, we're going to talk about National League every week, and National League is great. But don't think that we don't want to talk about everyone, because really, if staffs are in National League, then we really actually don't want to talk about them. Because Lozza can do that,
Yeah, I mean, there has to be a world where staffs go unbeaten in a few weeks and they end up top 10, top 16 National League.
And that's a world I don't want to be in.
It's gonna happen. There's nothing you can do about it, Vechs. It's a world which you are living in right now, and it will happen. It's inevitable, as a wise man once said.
Okay, so yeah, we will end on the final note of randomly, after 1 week of qualifying, who is going to win NSE, Vechs?
I'm gonna go Bournemouth. I think is my choice.
Okay.
I'm gonna say, well, this is wild, guys. I want Durham to win.
Durham.
Ooh.
I think Durham are gonna win.
In my expired and uninformed opinion, I am obviously going to go for Lancers B.
Oh.
Lancers B.
Yeah,
I
love
respect the decision.
showed the potential last week. Taking a pushing on. You gotta believe, okay?
I
You
can't-
don't believe, no one will. And on that
Okay.
note, believe in yourself. And good luck for week 2 of NSE Rocket League.
Good night.